Okay, so let me get into Canvas. How many of you anybody this is your first semester at Rose State? Okay, so you're probably not familiar with Canvas. Are you familiar with logging in? Have you logged in a class? Okay, great. So I'm assuming everybody's logged onto their computer. And so first thing we want to do is go into Canvas, because even though it is a lecture class, everything is kept here inside of Canvas. So if let's see here, if I can get around on this one. Oh, that's the other thing. All of my passwords are in my Mac. Okay. Well, oh, I know what this one is, I think. Okay, so yours won't have all these icons like mine does, but this is our class, Fundamentals of Programming Logic. And some of you may have already done, like there was a discussion that I had you to do a meet the class, and it was more important for my online students because with this few students, hopefully I'll get to know you, but you may not each other. So, and this is worth, I think, 10 points, something like that. Easy 10 points. But you have to do it before the 2nd of next, which is next Sunday night, I believe. This coming up Sunday night. So be sure you get that done if you want those 10 points. Otherwise, I'm going to try to, it'll help me get to know everyone in the class. And you can choose a photo. You can read it, and it tells you exactly what to do. Use Pixton strip to tell something about yourself or something like that. But my office hours are right here in this discussion called the instructor's office. Oh, I guess I didn't put them in this class. I will get those loaded there. My office is right downstairs, BS 114, and I know my office hours are on the office door, or beside the office door, but let me see if I can. Oh, goodness, I bet I didn't even load them in this class. Okay, since I'm not on my Mac, I can't do that. All right, so first thing I need to do is get attendance.
I gotta make sure I'm in the right class.
Okay, sure.
I just came from a different class. This is you right here? Nice. They switch classes around, so everything.
Oh, Brett Weber. That's Brett Weber. He 1093, is that the one you're talking about? Yeah, this is 1113. Yeah, this is in 216. Did you go down there?
That's why she told me that he's over here in the other quad. And
okay,
so they switch classes around again.
Okay, you will know who Brett Weber is. Has a big red beard. Okay, and he should be, I don't know what class it's in, but that's micro apps. So this is Fundamentals of Programming Logic.
Okay.
So he's probably, maybe he's in this room right here, right across.
Oh, man. How you been? Good.
Okay, so what we're going to do is go right here and take attendance. Because everybody that's here today, then that means you will not be automatically withdrawn, because once you attend one time, the system will not drop you out. And so if you decide you don't want to take this class 2 or 3 weeks down the road, you have to go and physically drop, or you, at the end of the semester, I have to give you an F. So don't forget to, but actually come and talk to me if you decide you're not getting it and you need some extra help, and I can probably, we can try to get you some assistance. Okay, this name I don't have a clue how to say. Quadri? Yeah. Okay, Quadri. All right, Braden. Okay, Joseph. Okay, Joseph. Tayshawn. How did?
Tayshawn, yeah.
Tayshawn, okay. Carson, okay. I know Chase. Blake, okay. Nicholas, okay. Alan. Okay, is there anybody that was not on the list? I don't think so. I mean, I called everybody out. Okay, so that means everybody has attended this one time, and I will try to learn the name since I do see you all twice a week. It'll be a little easier. All my other classes are either once a week or online, so hopefully I'll be able to do that. Now, if you have not purchased the book, you could have done that at the bookstore, or you actually have a 14-day free trial in here. So that means that there's no excuse for any assignments not being done, because the first 2 weeks you can use the book free of charge. But after that, you lose your access to it. If you purchase an access code, has anyone used Cengage Unlimited before for any of their other classes? Chase has. Anybody else? No? Okay, so if we go up here where it says, welcome, read me first. Is there anybody that hasn't been able to get to Canvas, to where I'm at? Anybody? Everybody's there. Okay, so what you'll always want to do before class is check and see if there's any new announcements at the top of Canvas, because that's where, if something happens where I can't get here to class, or weather's bad, I'll put assignments in that announcements or what's going on. Okay, so the syllabus, this is where we should have instructions also to get to our book. So in the syllabus, this is my information on where my office is. This is the phone number, but the best way to get me is to email me either here or through Canvas, through your inbox here in Canvas. And I will try to respond as quickly as usually within 24 hours I do. So this course is an introductory course in developing both procedural and object-oriented logic for problem solving, utilizing several program development tools and techniques, including traditional flowcharts and pseudocode. This course will present the core concepts of writing computer programs, variables, decisions, loops, functions, and objects, which apply regardless of the programming language. This course is designed to assume no programming experience. A script programming language will be introduced and used to implement the core concepts. Okay, so normally in here, which is what we'll do this semester, we use Python scripting. Although I teach the web design, graphic design program, and JavaScript used to be what we taught in here, because in web design, and if you become a front-end developer, you have to know JavaScript. But we do use Python. You don't learn to be a Python programmer in here. It's just that what you can do in here is learn the basics before you take the script programming class. So I'm teaching you in here the logic concepts. It's not language specific, but it gets really boring if we don't apply it to a language. So that's why we do Python, so that we can see those concepts work. Okay, so how many in here have programmed in a language before? Anybody? Chase has a little bit, right? Python. And what's your name?
Joseph.
Joseph, you have a little bit. And Alan? No? What?
Well, I now used to know, but that's used to know Python without.
Python? Well, you probably did Python 2.0 or something. This is 3.0 and above. They made a big difference in the version 2 and the version 3. So, but Python is a free open source program scripting language, so you can actually download it on your computers at home and do work from there. Is there anybody in here that does not have a home computer? Anybody does not? Okay, I started teaching here in 1992, and my question was different. It was, how many have a home computer? Now, you know, there would be one or two that did. But nowadays, most everyone, you can even do Python on your phone. There's an app for that you can do some Python on. So those are different options that you'll have whenever we get to Python. So everybody in here is pretty much total first time. So that is really a good thing, because what you're going to realize is that when you code in flowcharting, you solve a problem using flowchart or pseudocode. You don't have to know the language, but you have to know how, when you read a problem, how you're going to solve it. Now, one of the things that most people have a problem or think they do in their mind is, how many of you liked word problems when you were in school? Anybody? No, usually not, right? But I'm going to show you an easy way to learn how to do word problems, because that's what logic is. It's solving problems. If your best part was getting a sheet of multiplication problems when you're in elementary school and just doing all those problems, that doesn't really help you in a logic class, because if you have a sheet of problems, you can go through, and if you know multiplication, you can do all those multiplication problems. But solving a problem is when you're given a real industry, business, or engineering problem, and you have to solve it with logic. And that's what this is about. Okay, how many in here are cybersecurity majors? None. How many are engineering? 1, 2, 3. Okay, programming. Who's a programming major? Okay, when I know what Chase is, multimedia digital design. Is there any others? That's what you are. And what's your first name?
Carson.
Carson. Is this your first semester though? No? Last fall? Did I have you in class? Usually if you're multimedia digital design, I've had you before you take this class. Because this usually, my graphic designer is one of the last things they want to take, is this fundamentals. So what all have you had so far?
Last semester was my first, and I just did did some basics that year.
General education. They're not supposed to do that. I know they make y'all do that, but they're supposed to spread those out and put you, they're supposed to put you in some like part of your major, but those advisors across the way, they don't ever do you right. Before you register for next fall or summer, you need to come see me, because I'm over this degree currently, although I retire in May as a full-time after 30 years here. And so I'll be doing some adjunct classes, but I won't be an advisor. They're supposed to be hiring somebody, but I will be sure and get you lined out, because classes in multimedia certain things are offered at different times. As far as semesters go, they swap, and so it's important that they get you on the right steps so that you can get gen ed anytime, because it's offered numerous sections all the time. So my engineers, you won't be taking a language after this, but in engineering they do use Python, sometimes in Excel spreadsheet coding that you do in the engineering program. So was there somebody that wasn't in any of those that I called out? What are you guys? What? Psychology? Oh, and you just chose to take this?
Yes, this was one of the few classes that transfer over to OU.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty good. It never hurts to have a little programming logic. Oh, and Tasha?
I haven't
Chosen a degree yet? Okay. So everybody may have, most of the problems that we do in here are more business related than engineering related. But if you learn the logic, then you can transfer it to any type of scripting, which is what they will be using. And weather uses Python now, even people that are majoring in weather. I've had some of those in here too. All right, so here is the textbook and materials. Oh, that's not a link though, it should be. But you have an option, excuse me, with Cengage to, to be able to purchase, if you have other classes that use Cengage, then you can purchase differently than you do here. And I do have a link outside of the syllabus that I'll show you here in just a minute. And we're going to all go in and get registered in Cengage, where we can start on assignments before Monday. So this is the grading scale. Here's how the grading, the participation is 5%. That's that meet the class thing. And then the mind tap coding problems are 15% of your grade. That's inside Cengage. There are some problems that we do, and it gives you the answers to them as you're doing them. I'll show you when we get into Cengage. But that's 15%. Homework are assignments that I give you inside Canvas that may just be a problem that I have you flowchart or pseudocode, or it may have some with Python in it too. Mind tap unit test in Cengage, the software that's in there is called Mind Tap, but you read the ebook and then you take the tests that are inside there. The thing about the Mind Tap unit test, they're over terminology, and so I let you take those as many times as you want, because that is just to show me if you're reading the material before class, so that I know that when I start lecturing, I don't have to lecture over everything in the chapter. What I like to use these class periods for is to actually work problems, because that's what you'll have the most trouble with. So if you're reading the material, then I don't have to go through and read it for you, right, in class. So then Learn Python is a video. There's some little YouTube video clips that help you learn how to install Python on your computer, and that he walks you through some simple Python scripts. The coding test, there are 4 of those that when you come into class on those days, which I usually give you a week in advance notice. I don't have them all set up yet, because at every class we sometimes progress differently. So the coding test are where you'll get a problem and you'll pseudocode Python and flowchart, and also you'll program it in Python. And you'll do that while you're in class, and then you'll submit it in Canvas. And there are 4 of those, and if you miss one of those days of the test, there are no makeup tests, but the final only has to be taken if you miss one of those 4. Okay, so if you're sick or any kind of emergency, I still don't make them up. It's just that if you miss one, you'll take the final. Okay, everybody understand? So also I give students an option if they want to take the final and replace a lower grade, they can do that too. Okay, so that's the total percentages. Attendance, you'll find that other than this first day that tells you whether you're going to be administratively withdrawn or not, is the only time normally that I remember to take attendance, because I don't grade off, because I record all my lectures. The thing is, students have a tendency, because I say that if you enrolled in a lecture class, I'm assuming that you learn better that way than you do online, because it's being offered online also. And so this is your opportunity to be able to ask me questions and to work through problems. So if you don't come to class and then you want a lot of help outside of class, I'm slower to do that if you have registered for the class and you have this time too. But otherwise, I try to help as much as I can. And we also, for this class, Professor Ken Dewey has a tutor that I'll show you where his office is, and outside his office hours there's a schedule for the tutor, and I believe we have the same one we did last fall named Joshua. But if you find that you need some help with Python, he will set up a time and work with you. So you'll submit your assignments either in MindTap, and I'll show you how to do that, or in Canvas. And the best way, like I said earlier, to get a hold of me is through email. I'm assuming that you've all set up your Rose State login and your Rose State email, because the school, that's where they send everything, is to that email address. Now, you'll see all this stuff down here. Well, this may or may not be the dates. I go in week by week and change some of that depending on where we get. But the addendum has some other information that we're required to put in the syllabus. So if anyone has any special accommodations, they should have visited Janet Griffith and have a sheet to fill out to hand to me. If you haven't and you do need some special accommodations, please visit her, and I will have that on record of what your special accommodations might be. All right, any questions over the syllabus? Okay, we're going to go back here, and it should have, I didn't see it in there. Let me see. It should be here that we have that link. Okay, in this class, I do use one book that's a PDF book that you don't have to buy, that you just can download here to your computer. And it's something that I'll tell you when we're going to use it. The other is Lucid Chart. This is what you use to create your flow charts. And so you'll just log in, and it's a free account. It's an open source program, so you can use it from anywhere. And then this is a link to where the Python install is, and you don't need to do it on these computers because it's already installed on these computers. But if you want it for at home, this is the link to where Python is. And also, when I show you, assign that first video, he shows you how to download Python on your home computer. And this says meet the class online students only, but if you want those points, you're free to do that too. And they're just additional points. Okay, so I also saw where here is the student registration. And so if everybody is on this screen where it says course information, click here to access Cengage MindTap. I want you to do that. I want to see who all can get into that. And then you do load. Yours should have this, load, click here to access Cengage. Now mine will probably go right straight into Cengage, and yours should come up with a screen. Okay, and I can't get that. So I'm going to try to walk y'all through that. Did everybody come up with a login screen to Cengage? Okay, so the sign in is your Rose State email address, and it should, this is Cengage Unlimited. Let me see what we want. Click on that right there and let me see what it gives to you. Oh no, I'm sorry, I see where it is. Create account. So that's what you all have to do first, is create an account if you do not have a Cengage account. If you already have one, then you don't need to create a new one. Okay, so then once you get to here, you don't want to register an access code. Did you already create an account? Okay, register. Yeah. Yeah, open the course. Yeah, you should be able to use that one. If you've already got a Cengage account, then you should be able to sign in with it. Does everybody get there? Okay, so it took you right straight into the course. Let me see. Have you already purchased an access code? Oh, you did. So you've already gone in there. Anybody else already get their access code? No? Okay. You didn't? Oh, yeah, it's going to let you do it here. So it should give you 14 days. Oh, you already did it too. Okay. Anybody have trouble with that? Okay, yeah, yours is how it usually comes up if you haven't. So if you don't have any other Cengage courses or anybody else that's using that publisher, then just do go to my course, and that will start the free trial. And then you just have to purchase it before 14 days is up. Did you have yours already?
Yep.
Okay, so you're setting up your account. Okay. Anybody else? Did you do it? Yeah, that's it. So if you click on that, it should take you there. There you go. So did you already have an access or to it? Did you already purchase or are you on the free trial?
I'm on free trial, but I'm.
Okay, so you know how to do that. Is yours making you do a new one? Oh, you didn't remember the password. Okay. So you use Cengage for another class? Okay, so you probably, did you purchase the unlimited or are you just using the free right now? You did? Okay, so you should be able to get right into this then. Okay. Okay, so the way MindTap works, and I usually have these other units hidden. I don't know why they're all showing up. I have to go in and look. But the way Cengage works is this is an online book, Programming, Logic, and Design, and we can look at the Welcome to the Course or Getting Started with MindTap. You'll want to do the pre-course assessment. You're not supposed to know any of that. That's just to see if there's anything that you know of it, but you don't get graded for it. It says counts toward grade, but I do not. So in here is an overview of computers. So here is the preview of chapter 1, and then this takes you to the actual book. And so this is what you need to read before next time. This is, how many's had Intro to Computers or Microcomputer Applications? Anybody had that? No? This talks about a lot of the terminology of what we'll be doing in here, but then some of it is just understanding computer systems, understanding simple program logic. So this one we'll go through pretty quickly, but the flowchart symbols, I'll probably cover some of this on Monday. So if you've read it, it will make a lot more sense to you. So you go through and you can click on each chapter and read through it. So like these are the terms, and they even pop up so you don't have to go look them up. The hardware, and you'll notice at the end of the chapter there is always exercises, key terms, and a chapter review. If you do all of that, it's going to help you in the test, and I'll show you how to get to the unit test. But I don't ask that you turn any of this in. I think there is one assignment where I do on these exercises. See, I'll have review. This is something that just tests to see if you understand what you read. And then if you keep going down, these are the actual programming problems where it says programming exercises. And so sometimes we'll go over some of these in class, and that's what I like to work out. But these are the kind of problems that you'll be answering. One of them I assigned to you is this one, because I just want to see if you can go back and read that. In your own words, describe the steps to writing a computer program. But here in this book, it never tells you to code in Python. That's something that we do of these problems. It'll always say flowchart or write pseudocode. So that's why in chapter 1, and I'll go over these things for sure on Monday, but this section on using pseudocode statements and flowchart symbols. So pseudocode is like modern English language for solving a problem. So here it's saying you already have seen examples of statements that represent pseudocode, and that was earlier in the chapter. That's why I want you to read it. But the following 5 statements constitute a pseudocode representation of a number doubling problem. So if you had a problem that said every time you give the computer a number, what do you do to make it double it? Well, these are called variable names. My number is a variable name. So it says start the program, input my number, and this is backwards to what you see in mathematics, right? In mathematics, you always would say my number times 2 equals my answer. It was on the other side, right? Well, the computer evaluates the right side and dumps it in whatever the variable is on the left side of the equal sign. So this has 3 steps, and every computer program has to have that. Input, processing, output. And that's something you'll learn in the sections before this. So I know this is your first time to see any of this, so I'll go over it again. I just want to be sure that y'all know where this is, so that when you come in on Monday, you will have at least read this. And what is really beneficial is to go back and, okay, to get out of this, you just X out. And then you go down to, these are little video clips. These visualize. Let's see if the sound's on. Okay.
What is a computer program? In this segment, we're going to explore the role of computer programming by looking at exactly what a computer program is.
Should be hooked up there.
You begin with program. 2. Develop a solution. 3. Solve the problem.
Let's see where my volume is on here.
A computer program performs 3 functions: input, process, output. What's an algorithm? It's a step-by-step set of directions. It's very much like directions for baking a cake. You can imagine if you iced the cake prior to baking it. Each step must be logically ordered. Just like the algorithm for baking a cake, a computer program is a list of instructions that tells the computer what to do. A computer program is a solution to a problem, which consists of a set of instructions, algorithm, that tells the computer what to do. A computer program consists of input, processing, and output.
So there are these little video clips throughout. Every chapter has 1 or 2 of them that kind of give you an overview of what you're going to be doing. And what that's really what you're going to be doing all semester, is just solving problems. And when you think of a problem, you don't think of getting up in the morning and going to work and the steps you go through, or going to school. You just do it automatically. Well, with a computer, you have to tell the computer every single step. It doesn't assume anything. So that's why they were showing you, like, even baking a cake. But if you just go through and you say, okay, I set up on the side of the bed, I walk to the shower, get a shower, those are logical problems that you're solving, and that's what we're going to be doing this semester. Now, this is the Mind Tap unit test that I always have you do before you do any of the coding. And so in here, you will go in, and when you take this test, you'll see that you can take it as many times as you want. And so, and then it takes the highest grade. So if you're okay with getting a 70%, you don't have to take it again. If you want to get 100%, you can take it until you get 100%. Because this is just about what you read in the chapter. It's not usually solving any problems. And there's usually 1 to 20, there's usually 20 questions. So once you read chapter 1, then you can take this test. And so I always like students to have that done before we lecture on that chapter, so that I know that you've read it. So I want you to read chapter 1 in this book, because everyone should have access to it, and take this test before class on Monday. And that doesn't mean if you haven't gotten the grade you want that, let me see how long I left it open. There's a due date on it. I'm not sure. I think I did not yet put due date. So what I do is it closes at a certain time. When I have a due date on there, and usually the due date will be Monday nights of this class. If I have assignments that I give, like today, then the assignment, they will always close on Monday nights. Okay, so actually you'll get a reminder. That's what I do for my, so that my online and this class are in sync. So like if I give you an assignment on Monday, then you have till the next Monday at midnight to get it posted in MindTap, okay, and also in Canvas. So that's how I I always do. Even if I give one on Wednesday, it won't be due till the next Monday at midnight. So the advantage y'all have is I try to remind you on that Monday when we have class that, hey, midnight tonight, this closes and you can't get in it anymore. Okay. So when we go to Python, it will be under this code, which there's only one that you do this time called executing code in Python. So in MindTap, even though the problems at the end of the exercises, they don't give you Python, they do have Python in here. But normally I do all of these in MindTap together in class. That's the advantage I'll have, because MindTap is real finicky about how it grades. Right, Chase? They're very frustrating. Because you'll think, well, I'm getting the right answer, but it doesn't give you 100%. So we try to do those together. But I also tell students in the online, if you keep trying and trying and it's still giving you like 66% or something, then I go ahead and when the grade comes over, I give you 100%, because these are just exercises to help see if you can apply anything that you learned in the chapter to a Python program. What the study section is always a, there's a review, is a slideshow is in here, and I don't usually use these in class, but there is a slideshow, and then there's also flashcards that help you learn the terminology if that helps you. So you can shuffle the deck, you can even create your own study cards here. So now if you ever want to see the whole book, you can actually come over here, and that's the full book, all the chapters. And I believe it's the comprehensive, which we only go through chapter 7. There is a smaller intro book if you bought the actual printed book too, and you do have that option. Some students like the printed book, so over here you can, I can't remember where it's at, but I believe they even have the full book, the printed book in the bookstore, but I'm not 100% sure. And you can order it online or Amazon or something if you like the printed one. So there's flashcards. I thought it was a spot here. I can't remember. Study hub, you can put notes in there. I don't remember. Okay, so but I can, if you want a printed book, I can show you how to get one. And if you buy the Cengage Unlimited or the Cengage, it doesn't cost you the full price for the printed book, like if you order it from Cengage. Okay, so any questions about what your assignment is for Monday? Okay, so, oh, go ahead.
So whenever we do an assignment on Cengage, since we signed in through Canvas, you'll automatically get notified about it, or it'll...
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it shows. What happens is in, that's a good question, in Canvas, let me go back to where we're in Canvas. Okay, in Canvas, the grades, they automatically port over. I've had some trouble with that. So at the end of the semester, if the grades aren't here, you'll see it gave everybody, this has my online, and let me do this. Go for just this section. It should, well, where did that go? View, filters. Well, for some reason, it's not letting me pull out just this class. Maybe it's here. Well, let me see here. Well, I'll have to get it fixed. I can remember they've changed Canvas or something. It's not pulling just this class, but you'll see just this class has the attendance down here because y'all are the only ones that I take attendance. And those that have done their meet the class, some of them are over here. These are the assignments and they'll show up here. But if you look at the MindTap, like MindTap assignments, there's executing code in Python, and when you do it by your name, it'll import it over here. Okay, And if you don't see it there and you did it, well, I don't check those until midterm. I try to go through and get all those that didn't come across. But everything in Canvas, these other assignments that I said were homework assignments, okay, these are the ones that I give you that you submit inside of Canvas. So if I go back here, and okay, down here after course information, now you'll notice here's another where that link to the Python to your computer. Here's a link to Lucidchart, our Zoom meeting link if you need to stay home and you want to Zoom into our meeting like someone's doing today. I think he's probably a online student, or she. That's Ruth. Ruth, can you hear me, Ruth?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, are you online?
Yes, I am.
All right. Good to have you here. All
Thank
right.
you.
So this is also, you can't see this link right now because I didn't publish it, but like this lecture today, it will be on my YouTube channel and you'll be able to click on it and you can scrub back and forth and see what you missed or whatever. And these are some tutorial sites that help you with Python. And this is the book that I was talking about that I will introduce it in class when I give assignment from it, okay? Then our module 1 is what we're starting on today. And so the schedule for module 1 says complete the class. All of the assignments in module 1 will be due at the end of the 4th week. And that's when we'll have test 1, is after we finish module 1. So you'll notice that Canvas is arranged in 4 modules because those are where the concepts, it's not by chapter in your MindTap. Then all the assignments in module 1 will be due then. Complete the MindTap Unit 1 reading and MindTap Unit 1 test. And then this you can work on if you want to, but we'll probably go through it together in class since it's the first homework assignment. And I go ahead and show you in week 2, week 3, week 4, what you'll be doing, but those are not, that's just kind of like a schedule of that module. So if I go back to that module, below that module, you'll see you always want to get to your, it's easiest to get to your MindTap this way. You click on the Unit 1 test when you're ready, but you can also go into your Cengage and bookmark it, and then you can always be logged into it. Where that is. Oh, I lost it somewhere. Did I do that? That's probably it. There we go. So there's a couple of ways to get into it, and see, here is the things that are out of the first chapter. And then we'll do this one also is number 8. And that's in the programming exercises that are at the end of your ebook. It's problem number 8, but we will do it together in class. This is the video of the guy that I told you about. Are y'all able to get to module 1? Can you see module 1 in Canvas? Because I did put prerequisites course information, so it may not let you until then. But if you click on variables here, this is the video where he tells you how to install Python 3 and PyCharm, which is the text editor that we use for coding in Python. And these are the sections of his video that I assign first. And so, but you'll notice that wasn't assigned in week 1. I think it's not till week 3. But if you want to get a head start on Python, you're welcome to do this. And then what it says is complete the tutorials through working with numbers. That means through this one. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tutorials. Complete the 4 exercises, starting with drawing a shape, variables and data types, working with strings, and working with numbers. And so then once you do those, you will take a screenshot of your result. And then those screenshots will be will be submitted here in this assignment. Should show you a submit button on yours. I'm not in student view. Let's see. Let me go back to student view so you can see, those of you that are new this. Okay, so right here it's telling you that's the only thing that's due right now. But let me go to student. See, it should then, this should be what you're seeing. And if I wanted to see the submit button on any of them, right here is where you'll submit the assignment. That's what yours should look like. So once you've watched this video clip and gone along with him and coded that, then you would take a screenshot of each one of those 4 answers, and you can put them all in one PDF, or if you don't know how to do that, I can show you, or you can submit each screenshot. Either way that you want to do it. And so then you click submit assignment, and I'll be able to see that you did that assignment, and then I can grade it. But we can do the first assignment together if you have trouble with that. We'll do, that one won't submit in here. This will be the first one that will submit inside of Canvas. So here it is, and you probably don't have to watch this. Oh yeah, it does, because I will do this on Monday, but this was for the online students if they want to get started on it. But this tells you how to set up Lucidchart, and we'll do that next week. We'll do that together in class so that you can, and we'll create a flow chart. Okay. All right. Anybody have any questions? I always let you out early the first day because, or I shouldn't say always, but a lot of the times, because really you need to read that chapter to know kind of what's going on. And we can work some problems when we get in class on Monday. But if you wanted, let me show you a couple things while I'm on Windows real quick. Because I forgot I do this sometimes. If you go to the Windows down here, because normally I'll be using my Mac, so I want to show you how to do this. To get to Python in the classroom, it might have been out on the desktop. I can't remember if he puts it out there. Let me go over here. Let's see. PyCharm on there. Yeah, I think this is PyCharm. Oh, here it is. See PyCharm down here at the bottom, JetBrains, PyCharm. So you double click it. And this is what we'll use to code Python in. It's kind of slow. Come on, open up. There we go. Previous. You can just say, okay, if you want all of your stuff you want to know where it goes on the desktop or on your drive, then you can say configure or configure installation folder. And so if you go here, well, it's going to go in documents anyway. So I'm going to cancel all that and just say previous version. It's telling me where it's going to go. So I click OK. Oh, it said it was not valid. You have to click I confirm the first time and continue. So you can download PyCharm on your home computer too, and he shows you how to do that in that video that I showed you. But it's also at python.org. So here if we say create a new project, and I'm going to name this one Hello. That's the first program you always write. Hello World. Anybody written a Hello World program before? Yes. Okay. So we do that, and it's going to load. Oops, I didn't even spell it right. 2 W's, right? It's creating the environment. I'll tell it I don't want the tips. Oh, it won't let me yet. This is a new version of PyCharm. because I remember the end of the semester last time we had trouble. Okay, so if I click down here, let me move this over. It's not my way. I go up here and I can say file, file new. Let me see, it may be different for me too this time. Usually it comes over and tells us, here it is. Okay, so here we would say that I right-clicked on it and I want to create a Python file. And so I name it hello WORLD. And now I click it. Uh-oh, what's it doing down here? We may have to do this next time because they've got this all different and it didn't want to work. There it is. Okay, so if right up here on Hello World, if you right click and click new and then come down here to Python file, well, that's what I did. I don't know why it didn't open it. Just say hello DW. Let me see. There it is. Okay, so once you do that, that's my Python file. I can tell it from up here. So I can code up here and I can say print is how you would do it. Print. And then I would say hello world. That's a Python print statement. And so if I want to run it, there's run up here. There usually that's on there. I don't know why it's not. Run, hello W, run it. Okay, down here, this is my program being run. It says hello world. Now, if I wanted to change it and I wanted to put my name, I could put comma, prof. Now, if I run it again, it added that to it. So anything that I put in quotes there, it's going to print. That's the output portion of Python. That's your output. So we didn't have any input this time. If we wanted to do something more, we would say, let's see, let's say name equals input. Sure. And so now what it's going to do is it's going to ask that question. It's going to come up on the screen, and then whatever I type in is going to dump in this variable called name. So if I go over here and I say print hello world, and then I put comma, name is a variable name, so I'd put name there, and it should put whatever I type in if my syntax is right. Let's see. What is your name? So then I come down here and I type in Professor Wilson. And so I hit enter, and there it typed it in. So I have input and output. So what was the other step that I told y'all you have to have in a program? There was input, what's in the middle? And then print is the output. What was one other thing? Anybody remember? In this particular program, there is no processing. But if there was something like I was asking, okay, let's go and ask that number one. I'll say my number, and I'm going to ask what is a number to double. So then my processing step would be first of all, I have to make this into an integer. So I actually have to say integer int, because it won't, and you don't know about that yet, but you will. Oh wait, I may have to say int first. I can't remember which way is right. Then I do, oops, oh, it's not liking that. That means, usually that means it's an error. So I think I have to do it this way. Let me see. Oops. Int input, and I don't do it that way. Let's see if that does it. And so now if I want to double it, then I've got to come up with another variable called my answer. I can call it whatever I want to. That's what they called it in the book. My answer equals my number times, which is an asterisk in programming. And you can put spaces or you don't have to put spaces. Spaces do not matter. Then I say print. And what's the name of that? What is the variable name for the answer? What would I have to put in there? My answer. So now it should print out whatever number I put. So I'll put run, run, run. What is the number to double? So let's try an easy one, 4, 8. So it gave me the answer. So now I can run it however many times I want with however many different numbers. The reason in Python you have to do this is because any time that you ask the user to enter something and drop it in a variable, it always comes in as a character. So if I didn't put integer here, let me show you what would happen. If I didn't put integer here and I run it, syntax error. Oh, wait, that wasn't what I wanted you to get. Hold on. Okay, so now if I run it again, what is the number to double? If I do 4 again, gives you 44. You know why I did that? Because 4 is, you know, like in an address, when you give an address in your house number, your house number is a number, but it's not being used to do any calculation, right? It's just a label. So when you don't tell it that it's an integer, then it thinks it's just a character. And so it just says times 2 means to write that character 2 times. But wrote 4 2 times, just like that was a house number. So if I even run it again, and I put, say I put 128, what do you think it's going to do? You know, Chase? What's it going to do? If I say, what is a number to double 128, and I haven't told it it was an integer, what's it going to do when I hit enter? That's correct. 128, 128. So when I do it, it just does that. Because it's not an integer. So if I come up here and I change it back to where it's an int, and I get my parentheses right, and now if I run it again, what is the number to double? Let's do 128. 256, right? So in Python, that's something that you don't have to worry about in pseudocode, because it doesn't, in pseudocode, you're just saying how I'm going to solve the problem, but I don't care about whether the Python works or not. So there's two kinds of errors in Python. There's syntax errors, like when I left that one parentheses off and you saw that little red line. That's like syntax grammar. Like I've forgot a colon, or I've forgotten to put it in quotes or something like that. But a logic error is where I don't get the correct answer. Okay? And it talks about that in chapter 1. Okay, I don't expect you to be able to do this yet. I just wanted to give you that introduction to where we're going to be headed and what you can do with PyCharm and where it is on your Windows computer there, so that when I pull my MacBook up next time, you'll know how to get to it. All right, if there's no questions, y'all are free to go. And Ruth, I'm in the Zoom.
Okay.
All right. Do you have any questions?
No, I'm good.
All right. I'll post this too.